All right, so we're diving into sustainability today.
Ooh, that's a big one.
It is, huh?
Yeah.
And it's one of those words you hear everywhere,
Right. Everywhere.
Like, what does it even mean?
Yeah,
So
exactly.
we're using some notes that we have about economic, social, and environmental sustainability
Okay.
to break it down, kind of like a,
Like a crash course.
yeah, like a crash course.
I like it.
So whether you're like prepping for some meeting about this stuff or you're just curious about what it all means,
Right.
that's what we're doing today.
Absolutely. We're going to get into it.
Okay, so to kick things off, I've heard a lot about these Sustainable Development Goals.
The SDGs.
SDGs, yeah, that the UN put together.
Mhm.
What is the deal with those?
Well, I mean, imagine a world where there's no poverty, no hunger.
Okay.
Everyone has clean water, education, and we've tackled climate change.
Wow.
That's the idea behind this 17 SDGs.
17.
17, that's right.
A lot.
It is a lot. A roadmap for global sustainability, covering everything from affordable and clean energy to, like, responsible consumption.
Okay, so it's big.
It's big, yeah.
And 17 goals is pretty ambitious.
It is ambitious.
Some of them sound a little unexpected to me.
Oh, like what?
Like life below water. Saw that one on there?
Yeah, life below water.
What did that have to do with sustainability?
It's easy to think about sustainability as, like, planting trees and using less plastic.
Right. Yeah.
But it's so much bigger than that.
Guy.
Life below water highlights that everything's connected. Healthy oceans are so important for regulating the climate, food security, biodiversity.
Okay, so if the oceans aren't healthy,
Then everything else gets messed up.
yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
But I'm guessing there are probably some big roadblocks when you're talking about global goals like this.
You're telling me
Yeah.
coordinating between all the different countries is hard enough,
Right.
especially when you have, global instability, different priorities for different countries.
Yeah.
And then actually turning these global goals into, like, local actions.
Right. Yeah.
That's a whole other thing.
It's almost like herding cats on a global scale.
That's a good way to put it.
Okay, so global goals are one thing.
Yeah.
But let's bring it down to earth a little bit.
Okay.
You always hear about the 3 pillars of sustainability:
Yes.
social, environmental, economic.
3 pillars.
What do those actually mean?
So picture a 3-legged stool.
Okay.
If one leg is weak, the whole thing
It falls over.
falls over. Yeah.
Okay.
So social sustainability,
Yeah.
it's about creating a just and equitable society where everyone has the opportunity to thrive.
Right.
Things like human rights, fair labor practices, access to education and healthcare.
So it's not just about the environment.
No.
It's about making sure people can live good lives, too.
Exactly. Yeah.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah.
What about environmental sustainability?
That's usually what people think of first. Protecting our natural resources, our ecosystems, so they can provide what we depend on,
Clean air, clean water.
Clean air, clean water, fertile land. Yeah.
So it's not just about, like, saving the rainforest.
It's bigger than that.
Yeah.
It's about preserving what keeps us alive and healthy.
Okay.
We're a part of the ecosystem, not separate from it.
Right.
And that brings us to the idea of natural capital.
Natural capital, okay.
Think of it like a bank account.
All right.
You can withdraw resources
Okay.
like timber, fish, minerals.
But you got to make deposits, too.
You got it. Protecting those ecosystems, reducing pollution, investing in renewable
To
resources.
keep the account healthy.
Exactly.
So if we overdraw our natural capital account,
Oh, we're in trouble.
we're in big trouble. Yeah.
We're going bankrupt, environmentally speaking.
Okay, that makes sense.
And that brings us to the 3rd leg of the stool, economic sustainability.
See, now this is where I'm curious.
Yeah,
Economic sustainability, that can mean so many things.
it really could.
Yeah.
It's not just about how much money a country has, GDP.
Right.
It's about an economy that's resilient,
Mm-hmm.
equitable, benefits everyone.
So how do we know if it's benefiting everyone?
That's where we start asking the tough questions.
Okay.
Like, how is wealth distributed?
Okay.
How many people are living below a decent standard of living?
Right.
Are we investing in a future where everybody has the opportunity to thrive?
But it's not just about making the pie bigger.
No.
It's about making sure everyone gets a slice.
Exactly. That's a great way to put it.
Okay, so we've got these 3 pillars:
The 3 pillars.
social, environmental, economic, all connected.
All connected.
But how do we know if a country's doing well in these areas?
Ah, good question.
Like, is there a sustainability report card?
I wish it were that simple,
Right.
but there are ways to measure a country's progress.
Okay.
We use what are called indicators to get a picture of how things are going.
Okay.
For example, for economic progress, We traditionally look at GDP, gross domestic product. But GDP doesn't tell the whole story, right? It's like the total value of stuff produced.
Right.
It doesn't look at things like income inequality or environmental damage from producing all that stuff.
You got it.
Yeah.
That's why we have other indicators like the Human Development Index, HDI,
HDI, okay.
which factors in things like life expectancy, education levels, and standard of living.
So it's about well-being, not just wealth.
Exactly.
Okay.
A country could have a high GDP but a low HDI if its wealth isn't distributed fairly, or if they're achieving that economic growth at the expense of people and the environment.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Right.
Okay, so what about social cohesion and inequality? How do we measure that?
There's the S80-S20 ratio.
S80S20, okay.
Compares the income of the wealthiest 20% to the poorest 20%.
So if a country has a high S80S20 ratio,
Big gap between the rich and the poor.
not good.
Not a good sign for social sustainability. Yeah, high income inequality can lead to unrest and all sorts of problems.
Yeah.
And then there's the Gini coefficient. Gini coefficient.
It's a more nuanced measure of income distribution.
Okay.
The closer to 0, the more equal the society.
All right.
The closer to 1, the more unequal.
So lots of ways to measure income inequality.
There are, yes.
But what about environmental sustainability? How do we know if a country is living within its means, ecologically speaking?
Well, we have indices for that too.
Okay.
The Environmental Performance Index, for one,
Right.
looks at a country's performance on things like environmental health.
So air quality, water quality.
Exactly.
Okay.
Deforestation rates, biodiversity,
Mm-hmm. Makes sense.
And then the Global Green Economy Index
Okay.
that focuses on efforts in areas like climate change, resource efficiency.
So it seems like you could have a country with a high GDP and a good environmental performance index, but still have major problems with social inequality.
You're absolutely right.
So it really is about all three pillars.
All three pillars,
Yeah.
they got to be strong for a society to be truly sustainable.
Okay, so we've got these three pillars interconnected, and we have ways to measure how we're doing.
Yeah.
But can a country really have it all?
That's the question, isn't it?
Can you grow the economy and protect the environment?
It's a debate that's been going on for decades.
I bet.
Some people think economic growth and environmental protection are just incompatible,
Mm-hmm.
while others argue that they can go hand in hand.
Okay.
And that brings us to the Kuznets curve.
The Kuznets curve, I've heard of that,
Yeah,
but remind me.
of course, of course.
Yeah.
So the Kuznets curve is a model that suggests as an economy grows, environmental damage initially increases,
Okay.
but then it reaches a turning point
Okay.
and starts to decrease.
So it's like saying get rich, then clean up the mess,
Well, it's not quite that simple.
right? I figured.
But the idea is that as societies become wealthier, they can invest in cleaner technologies, adopt stricter environmental regulations, and shift towards a more service-based economy.
So the Kuznets curve, is it a guarantee?
That's a great question, and it's one that we'll dig into further in the next part of our deep dive.
All right, so stay tuned.
We'll look at some real-world examples and consider the role that individual actions play in all of this.
Okay, sounds good.
Yeah,
So the Kuznets curve, it's more of a model,
right. It's not a hard and fast rule.
not a guarantee.
Not at all.
Okay.
There's some evidence for it in some cases, but definitely not a guarantee.
Like what? What's an example?
Well, look at China.
Okay.
Their economy has been growing super fast,
Right.
led to a lot of environmental problems.
Yeah.
But lately, they've been investing a lot in renewable energy and pollution control.
So that could be like the Kuznets curve playing out?
Maybe, yeah, could
Oh,
be.
but
But it's
yeah.
too early to say for sure.
So even if a country gets rich, no guarantee they'll clean things up.
Nope, not a guarantee.
It depends on the choices they make.
Exactly, their priorities.
Right.
Political will is huge.
So if the government is really committed to environmental protection,
Yeah.
they could make policies.
Yeah.
Even if it means less economic growth in the short term.
That's right.
And technology matters too, right?
Absolutely.
Like new innovations could help reduce our impact.
For sure. But those technologies have to be developed, and adopted on a big scale.
Right. So it sounds like the Kuznets curve is possible,
It's possible.
but not a sure thing.
Not a sure thing at all.
It's about making choices,
Yeah.
investing in a sustainable future.
Exactly.
Okay.
And that brings us to another important point.
What's that?
It's not just about governments and big corporations.
Okay.
It's about what we do.
Individual actions.
Yes.
Okay. But does that really make a difference?
More than you might think.
I don't know. It's easy to feel like my choices don't matter that much.
I get it. But think about it.
Okay.
If millions of people start making different choices,
Yeah.
it creates a ripple effect.
The ripple effect.
Yeah, businesses, even governments start to notice.
Okay, I like that, the ripple effect.
So how do those ripples start?
Yeah, good question.
What are some things individuals can do to be more sustainable?
So many things, right?
It can feel overwhelming, but you don't have to do everything at once.
Right.
Start with what's easy, something you can do every day.
Right.
Like, what about biking or walking instead of driving?
I could try that.
Whenever possible.
Yeah, my bike needs some air in the tires.
There you go, get that bike out.
Okay.
What about using less energy at home?
Oh, yeah.
Change those old light bulbs to LEDs.
Hmm.
Be careful with how much water you're using.
Those are easy fixes.
Yeah.
What about the harder stuff, like all the stuff we buy?
Oh, consumption.
Yeah.
Big one.
Right.
We're surrounded by it. Tough to break out of that.
Yeah.
We got to be aware of where things come from, the impact they have.
Okay, so like buying less stuff in general.
Yeah.
Choosing stuff that lasts longer.
Exactly. Durable over disposable.
Repairing things instead of throwing them away.
You got it.
Being a more conscious consumer.
Yes.
Making sure my money is supporting companies doing things the right way.
Exactly.
Right.
And it's not just about spending money. It's about using your voice, too.
Okay.
Support policies that promote sustainability.
Mm-hmm.
Advocate for change in your community.
Right.
Talk to people about these issues.
So it's being informed,
Yes.
making good choices,
Uh-huh.
speaking up for what you believe in.
That's what it's all about.
Okay.
It's a journey, you know?
Attorney. Yeah.
We're all on it together.
We are.
We need everybody to participate if we're going to create a sustainable world.
That's a good way to put it. A journey.
Yeah.
Makes it feel less daunting.
Yeah. You don't have to do it all at once.
Not all at once, yeah.
Take it step by step.
But I got to ask,
Yeah.
with all the challenges we're facing,
Mm-hmm.
climate change, inequality, all that,
Yeah.
is sustainability actually possible?
It's a big question.
It is a big question.
Some days it feels like we're fighting an uphill battle. But I believe that striving for sustainability is essential.
Okay.
Even if we never reach some perfect endpoint.
Right.
It's about learning, adapting.
So constantly working towards something better.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah.
Feeling a little more optimistic now.
Good.
But before we get carried away,
Yeah.
we've talked a lot about economic inequality
We have.
as a barrier to social sustainability
Okay.
and about indicators like the Gini coefficient, the
Yeah.
SADS-20 ratio.
Uh-huh.
But those are just ways of measuring the problem.
Right.
How do we fix it?
That's the million-dollar question.
It is.
It's a tough one.
Yeah.
Complex issue, no easy answers.
Okay.
But there are things we can do individually and collectively
Can make things better.
to move in the right direction.
Okay, what's the action plan?
An action plan, I like it.
What can I do starting today
Starting today, all right.
to make things more economically fair in my community?
Okay, well, think about where you're spending your money. Are you supporting local businesses that pay their employees a living wage?
So like choosing the mom and pop shop over the big chain store.
Exactly,
Right.
whenever you can.
Got it.
It's not just about where you shop, though. It's about being a conscious consumer everywhere.
Right. So do my research.
Yeah, ask questions.
Make sure my money is supporting businesses that align with my values.
Yes.
Okay, so being mindful of purchases.
Uh-huh.
What else?
Think about your skills, your resources. Could you volunteer?
Volunteer. Oh, yeah.
Maybe at a local charity, a nonprofit that's working on poverty, inequality.
Okay, I can definitely look into that.
Yeah.
What about donating to organizations working on these issues?
That's a great way to make a difference.
Okay.
Even small donations add up.
They do.
And don't forget about being informed, engaged.
So like staying up to date on local issues,
Yes.
attending community meetings,
Mm-hmm.
speaking up for policies that promote economic fairness.
Yeah, got it.
So it's not just writing a check or volunteering a few hours.
It's more than that.
It's being an active citizen.
Exactly.
Okay.
Sustainability isn't a spectator sport.
It's not.
We have to be involved, learn, challenge things, work together.
Wow. This deep dive has really opened my eyes.
I'm glad to hear that.
It's more than just recycling and driving a fuel-efficient car.
It is.
It's about interconnectedness, social justice, fairness.
All connected.
Yeah, creating a world where everyone can thrive.
That's the goal.
And I can play a role in that,
You absolutely can.
even in my own little world.
That's right. It all starts somewhere.
Okay, I'm feeling inspired.
Good, good.
This has been great.
Yeah, this has been fun.
Thanks for taking this deep dive with me.
Thanks for having me.
And to everyone listening out there,
Yes.
keep asking those questions, keep making those choices, and never underestimate your power to make a difference.
You got it.
We'll catch you on our next deep dive.
See you then.
You know, it's interesting. We started out talking about sustainability, like on this big global scale.
The UN, yeah.
Yeah, international stuff. But now I'm thinking about it more like in my community. Like, what can I actually do?
Right, exactly.
My everyday choices, the impact I have right around me.
It all comes back to that, yeah.
It really does, huh?
Sustainability starts at home.
Yeah.
And it goes back to what we were talking about before
What's that?
about economic inequality, that being a barrier.
To social sustainability.
Yeah, exactly.
So what can we do in our communities to actually promote economic fairness?
Right.
Like, it can't all be on governments and big companies.
It can't be, no.
So what can I do right here, right now, to make a difference?
Well, one of the most powerful things you can do is think about where you spend your money.
Okay.
Are you supporting local businesses, organizations that are really committed to fair wages?
Right. So, like, choosing the mom and pop shop
That's it.
over the big chain store whenever I can.
Yeah, putting your money where your values are.
Yeah. Okay. Makes sense.
And it's not just about where you shop. It's about being mindful in every part of your life.
Okay. So, like, being a conscious consumer.
That's it. Exactly.
All right. So being mindful of my purchases, supporting local businesses. What else?
Think about your skills.
Okay.
Your resources.
Yeah.
Could you volunteer sometime?
Oh, yeah. Volunteering.
Yeah, maybe at a local charity, a nonprofit that's addressing poverty, inequality.
I could definitely look into that.
Yeah.
What about donating? Like, to organizations working on these issues?
That's a great way to make a difference.
Even small donations.
Even small donations can add up.
Okay, cool.
And, never underestimate the power of being informed, engaged.
Right, so staying up to date on local issues.
Yes, exactly.
Attending those, like, community meetings. Speaking up about policies.
Raise your voice.
Okay, so it's not just about, writing a check or volunteering.
More than that.
It's about being an active citizen.
It is, yeah.
Okay, wow, this has really been eye-opening.
It's a lot to think about.
It is.
But it's important stuff.
It is, yeah. And it's made me realize that, sustainability is more than just recycling.
So much more.
Yeah, or driving a fuel-efficient car. It's about interconnectedness, social justice, economic fairness.
It's all connected.
It really is.
Yeah.
Creating a world where everyone can thrive.
That's the goal.
And I can play a part in that, even in my own little corner of the world.
You absolutely can.
Okay, that's good to hear.
Yeah, we all have a role to play.
Well said.
Remember, it's a journey.
It is, yeah.
We're all on it together.
All right, well, this has been fantastic.
Yeah, this was great.
Thanks so much for taking this deep dive with me.
Thanks for having me.
And to all of you listening out there, keep asking those tough questions.
That's right.
Keep making those conscious choices.
Keep making those ripples.
We'll catch you on our next deep dive.
See you then.